Hello, everybody, and welcome to London Metropolitan University's Students' Union Leaders Election Results 2021. I'm Harry Jones, your Student Activities Coordinator.
Well, Eddie was just welcoming himself there. Don't worry though; it's going to get smoother as we go on. We are leaving us. We're relying on our host to mute and unmute ourselves. Hello, everybody, and live from Democracy Central, aka Walthamstow. I'm Andy, the CEO of the union.
This evening, for the first time as well, and we'll be bringing you the final counts for all the part-time and full-time positions. We'll be running through all of the results for the positions as the evening goes on. So make sure that you guys follow us on London Met SU on Instagram and Twitter. That's at London Met SU on Instagram and Twitter. And if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to share this stream with your mates.
This year's election has been a bit different to how things are done traditionally at London Met Students' Union, with the challenge of all the campaigning being done entirely online for 2021.
Announcing the results. Before we crack on with announcing the results, we just want to take the opportunity to say thank you to every single one of the candidates who took part in this. Can you even begin to imagine how flipping hard this has been for all of the students who put themselves forward, which is a pretty difficult thing in the best of circumstances, and these have not been the best of circumstances. So from us, from me, well done to all of you. Congratulations. No matter what the results are, I hope you feel proud of yourselves. Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are 10 different roles that we're going to be announcing elected candidates for tonight. And those roles are as follows. We've got student council members and NUS conference delegates.
The part-time officer roles, which are disabled students officer, LGBTQ plus students officer, women's officer, and Black, Asian and minority ethnic students officer.
And of course, there are the full-time officers, and I'm going to read directly from the script because it's a bit of a mouthful. We have the officer for Guildhall School of Business, Law and Human Sciences, the officer for Social Sciences and Social Professions, the officer for Computing, Digital Media and School of Art, Architecture and Design, and the president, obviously.
So, as I said, guys, don't forget to follow along with us at London Met SU.
We're now going to, we've done all of that, and we're now going to just explain as briefly and simply as we can how the voting system works.
Cool, thanks, Andy. So, for our elections, we're going to be using something that's called single transferable vote. And essentially what that means is that each voter has been able to express their preference for candidates, and they rank them, first, second, third, etc. Essentially, for a candidate to win, they've got to get 50% of the vote plus one. And we're going to refer to this throughout the rest of the evening as the quota.
Throughout the results, you'll notice that Ron is said quite a lot. If none of the candidates are deemed electable in that round, then the vote can go to Ron, which stands for Reopen Nominations. So how are we going to announce the winners, you might ask?
You might well ask that, Eddie. Well, what we'll do is we're going to go through this round by round, and we'll tell you how many votes each candidate got, and then who got eliminated until we have a winner. It all sounds quite complicated, and if you got to see the spreadsheets behind the scenes, you would probably agree, yes, it is a little bit complicated, but don't worry, we'll be really clear about who the winner is at the end. And I believe that's everything in terms of the warm-up. You just mute. Well, I was handing over to Harry because I think it's time for some results.
Andy, stop talking, honestly. You're stealing my limelight from the results now. Right. But anyway, so now we've got our student council members first of all. There were 397 votes that were recorded, which means that a candidate needs to get 36 votes in order to meet the quota. We had 9 candidates with 10 positions positions that were up for grabs. Just to go over who those candidates were, I'll just read off the list of everybody who stood. And as has been mentioned, thank you so much for standing in the first place, guys. So we've got Rashma Sheikh, Margarita Demai, Patricia Levy, Guy Chakaroff, Charlotte Page, Pafira Pakirathan, Ricardo Cavaro, Janiqua John, Joanne White, and of course, Ron, or reopen nominations. So let's get to the results. In the first round, we had Janiqua, Ricardo, Charlotte, Patricia, and Margarita elected. Well done, guys. In the second round, we had Pafira and Joanne elected. In the third round, nobody was elected. But in the fourth round, Reshma was elected. Nobody was elected in the fifth round. And in the sixth round, Guy was elected, meaning that in the seventh, Ron, or reopen nominations, was excluded. So congratulations to Janiqua, Ricardo, Charlotte, Patricia, Margarita, Pafira, Joanne, Reshma, Guy, all of our next student council members. And I'll be handing over to Eddie to announce the winners of the NUS conference delegates next.
We'll now move on to the National Union of Students, the NUS conference delegate selection. 387 votes were recorded, which means a candidate needs 129 to meet the quota. We had 3 candidates with 2 positions up for grabs. Your candidates for the position of NUS conference delegates were Janiqua John, Margarita Demai, Nancy Barney, and reopen nominations. In the first round, reopen nominations received 5 votes. Margarita received 132 votes. Nancy received 139 votes. And Janiqua received 111 votes. Both Margarita and Nancy were elected. Congratulations to Nancy and Margarita, who are now our next NUS conference delegates. Over to Andy.
Right then. Congratulations to all of those candidates. Next is the part-time women's officer role. And in this election, 240 votes were received, which means to win, the candidate needs to get 120. Your candidates for the position of the women's part-time officer were Mim Hussain, Julia Zutner, Vaidi Apte, and Ron. So, in the first round, Ron got 2 votes. Better luck next time, Ron. Mim got 148 votes, Julia got 13 votes, and Vaide got 77 votes. Therefore, Mim is duly elected your women's part-time officer. Congratulations to Mim. Now we're going to hand over to Harry.
Now, is the winner for the role of part-time disabled students officer. So there were 55 votes recorded, which means that a candidate needed to hit 27.5 to meet quota. And your candidates for the position of disabled students part-time officer were Rachel Eve Morgan, Joanne White, and Ron. Reopen nominations. So in the first round, Ron got 2 votes. Not doing so well tonight, is he? Rachel got 37 votes, and Joanne received 16 votes. And therefore, Rachel was elected in the first round. So massive congratulations to Rachel Eve Morgan, your disabled students part-time officer for 2020 to 2022. 2021 to 2022. I'll hand over now to Eddie, and hopefully you can remember what we're in at the moment.
We'll now move on to the Black, Asian and Minority Ethnic Students Part-Time Officer. 165 votes were recorded, which means a candidate needs 82 to meet the quota. Your candidates for the position of Black, Asian and Minority Ethnic Student Part-Time Students Officer were Nancy Barney, Reshma Sheikh, Trijan Mandahar, and reopen nominations. In the first round, reopen nominations got no votes. Trijan got 34 votes. Reshma got 6 votes. Nancy got 119 votes. Therefore, Nancy was elected in the first round. Congratulations to Nancy Barney, your new Black, Asian and Minority Ethnic Students Part-Time Officer for 2021-22. Over to Andy.
Hello again. So the next position we'll be announcing the results of is the LGBTQ plus part-time officer. In this election, 94 votes were recorded, which means a candidate needs to receive 47 votes to meet the quota and to win. And your candidates in this election were Micah Ban Sepesh, Jamie Zanna, and Ron. In the first round, Ron got 1. You should say that 10 times quickly. Ron got 1 vote. Micah got 6 votes, and Jamie got 87 votes. And therefore, Jamie was elected in the first round. Congratulations to Jamie Zanna, your LGBTQ plus officer for next year. Well done, Jamie. And Eddie, I think you might have some full-time officer results for us now.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Okay, so we get to the more business end of the results now with the full-time officer positions. Full-time officer for the School of Social Sciences and Social Professions. So 400 votes were recorded, which means a candidate needs 200 to meet the quota. Your candidates for the position of full-time officer for the School of Social Sciences and Social Professions were Denise Ruth Morrison, Rebecca Salmon, and reopen nominations. In the first round, reopen nominations received 4 votes. Rebecca received 100 votes, and Denise received 296 votes. This means that Denise was elected in the first round. Congratulations to Denise Ruth Morrison, your Social Sciences and Social Professions Officer for 2021-2022 academic year. I will hand over to Harry.
Awesome. Thank you, Eddie. So we'll come on to another full-time officer role now. And this is for Guildhall School of Business, Law and Human Sciences. So there were 364 votes that were cast, which means that a candidate needs to get 182 votes to meet the quota. So the candidates for the position of GSBL and Human Sciences Officer were Marguerite Demai, Vedi Upti, and of course, our good friend, reopen nominations. So in the first round, Ron got 8 votes. Margarita got 196 votes. And Vedi got 160 votes. And therefore, Margarita Demai was elected in the first round. Congratulations to Margarita, your GSBL and Human Sciences Officer for 2021 to 2022. And I will hand back over to...
Thank you, Harry. Next up is your School of Art, Architecture, Design and School of Computing and Digital Media full-time officer. 436 votes were recorded, which means the candidate needs 218 to meet the quota. Your candidates for the position of full-time officer, School of Art, Architecture and Design and the School of Computing and Digital Media were Jasmine Damares, Nazmul Haq Khan, Precious Agho, and Robert Bogdan Roth, and reopen nominations. In the first round, reopen nominations received 1 vote. Jasmine received 130 votes. Nazmul received 36 votes. Robert received 10 votes, and Precious received 259 votes. This means that Precious was elected at the first stage. Many congratulations, Precious Agho, your full-time officer for the School of Art, Architecture and Design and the School of Computing and Digital Media for 2021-22 academic year. I will now hand you over to Andy.
Well done, Precious. Looking forward to working with you again next year. I think there may be one more role to announce, last, but very much not least. We'll now announce the results for president. In this election, 509 votes were recorded, which means a candidate needed 254 votes to win in the first round. The candidates for the position of president were as follows: Cynthia Edo, Guy Chakarov, Kainat Qureshi, Yasmin Bashir, and Ron. This went to multiple rounds, so bear with me as I explain each round. I'll try and be as clear as I can. In the first round, Ron got 1 vote. Cynthia received 228 votes. Kainat got 25 votes. Guy got 9 votes. Yasmin got 246 votes. So nobody reached quota in the first round, which means we take the candidate who came last, which was, as always, it seems, Ron. So we took Ron's votes and transferred them. None of those votes transferred. So in the second round, Cynthia still had 228 votes. Kainat still had 25 votes. Guy still had 9 votes. And Yasmin still had 246 votes. We then eliminated the next candidate from that, which was Guy. And after we took those votes and transferred them, the results were as follows. Cynthia got 228 votes. Kainat got 25 votes. Yasmin got 248 votes. Therefore, Guy was eliminated. So we're now in the final round, and it's Cynthia and Yasmin. And it's very simple. Whoever gets the most votes wins. In the fourth round, Cynthia got 229 votes, and Yasmin got 248 votes. That means, nice and simply, that the winner is Yasmin Bashir and is duly elected president for 2021-22. Yasmin, congratulations. I'm looking forward to working with you. And that concludes all of our results. So we're going to have a little wrap up. Eddie, I'm going to hand it over to you. You're going to explain where we're going to put up the results completely.
Thank you, Andy. Well, there we have it. You can view the full list of winners on our social media at London Met SU shortly after this live stream ends. Andy.
Basically, we wanted to take the opportunity now say thank you. Thank you again, like I said, to all of the candidates. Thank you very much for standing. Thank you for running. This has been a very challenging year for all of you, and I assure you for all the staff involved as well. To all the candidates who got elected, I'm looking forward to working with you. For those candidates who've unfortunately not been successful, don't be too downhearted. It takes a lot to put yourself out there. And I have been in the situation and I know it sucks. So good luck, look after yourselves. And that's it from me. Harry, I think you have the last word on this.
There we go. So that's it for our elections live stream for 2021. Thank you so much to everybody. Take care and I hope you have a lovely weekend.